The equity game, how to compound your wealth and leverage your success. In this video, I want you to think about your equity. We work very hard in business, and I work with my clients regularly on thinking about how to grow your wealth. Most people I meet and most people I work with want financial freedom. Yes, we are passionate about our businesses, but at the end of the day, you will sell it or you will shut your business. So it's important that you work hard in the journey, but you're creating great wealth. So equity is the game that we need to play. Now, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a professional advisor around wealth creation. This is just what I know after 30 years of working with businesses and wealth, and it's important that you understand some of these principles. There are only three ways to grow your wealth, as far as I'm concerned: property, business, or shares. Now, property tends to grow on average around 5% per annum. Businesses, if you're working your business hard, should give you a return 10 to 25%. You'd want better than 5% return on your business given the amount of capital that you may have invested. So it's good that you want that return. Now, will it grow? Well, your business will only grow if your profits grow. So you need to make sure you're getting a good return on investment. Shares, similarly to a property, can grow over a period of time. For example, CSL was worth about $3 25 years ago. It's worth about $200 something now. Dividend statements out of it, so you would have got regular income from it. So understanding that these vehicles are great ways to grow your wealth. So we need to get our money out of our businesses and grow our wealth, whether it be in shares or other businesses or in property. So typically we want to look at that and think, okay, property 5%, businesses around 50% return on investment, shares should grow annually around 7% to 8%. So there's three ways to grow your wealth. Now, equity is the portion that you've got left after you take away all your debt. So let's use that. How? Compounding interest. So year on year, by investing in property or shares, you can build that compounding interest. And how can that look? Well, here's $10,000, a regular deposit of $500 a month, annually over 10 years, achieving 5% return, which I think is a conservative return, can give you $91,000 after 10 years. Now, that's just a simple strategy, getting a simple return. You think about that. We work very hard, and most people tend to think about just, okay, I've got a house, I just want to pay off that debt. But there's good debt and there's bad debt. So when you think about a house is a bad debt really, because you can't claim the interest on your tax, whereas an investment property or a business or shares, you can claim that money on your tax. So I've got the website up here, moneysmart.gov.au. Go to the compounding interest and think about where is your equity at the moment and how do you want to use it. Now here's the thing. Leverage. You can leverage an investment by borrowing money against the equity you have. Now, banks will borrow up to 80% on a property, typically 25 to 50% on a business. And, the last time I looked at CommSec on CSL or BHP, ANZ, these types of businesses and shares that you would buy in these businesses, you can get leverage money of up to 50, 70%. Now, certainly you've got to understand that leverage in the share market can be risky because obviously they call it a margin call. So you've got to keep paying your interest and the share can go down. But over time, in my experience, and if you have a look at the share market, it does typically grow over time. And I think as I record this video, the ASX is tipping over 7,000 points. So when I started looking at shares, it was 2,500. So we can see that it does grow over time. So you need to think about your strategy. You've got three opportunities. So put it into a pie chart, a bubble. What is your current percentage of equity? Is most of your equity tied up in your house, or is it all tied up in your business, or do you have some equity in your share market portfolio? Now, you can always leverage against these to grow your wealth. And if you think about your risk profile, understand where you're comfortable. You might be more comfortable with property, so 50% of your equity might be tied up in property, or that's might be 80%, and you want to look at it getting it down to 50% and leveraging some money into the share market, or even look at how to grow your business. So sit down and think through the strategy, because it's important that you understand what is your strategy to grow your wealth. Because what we're trying to do is achieve financial freedom. 1.5 million at 5% is going to give you enough money, if that's your equity position, that you don't have to work anymore, because you can earn roughly around $100,000 a year and not work. And when you're not working, you're not spending as much money. So knowledge is power. I'm just trying to get you to think differently. I certainly work with plenty of my clients, and I'm happy to do a bit more in-depth with you if you need, but knowledge is power. Go and talk to a financial planner, but be aware that financial planners will certainly encourage you around your super, and will encourage you around insurances and all those sort of things, which is fine. They're all great vehicles, but the reality is, they cost money, and you need to understand the fees associated with these things. So understand what you have control over and what your financial planner has control over, and take ownership of your financial well-being and wealth creation process. Anyway, I hope this helps. Just an insight into how to play the equity game, because equity is a really important part of really leveraging your success. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Inbox for comments, and look forward to you watching the next video. Thank you.